That's right, baby. It's time for movie trailer trash. Enjoy.
Hey everybody, this is Movie Trailer Trash, and we just watched the trailer for Detective Pikachu.
Woo!
I'm Bethany.
And I'm Charmander.
And that's Charlie. Charlie.
Oh. That's the Charmander from Super Smash Brothers. That's the best way that I know him. Well,
That's the best way that you know
that's
him?
my favorite Charmander.
Okay. All right.
The one in the cartoon is kind of
That's the
annoying.
best way that I know him.
Meep Borp Charmander.
So, Detective Pikachu. Should we
Yes.
jump in?
I want to jump in.
Well, let's start off with telling people a little about it.
Little bouts? Okay.
A little about it.
This is Detective Pikachu. It is a movie based on a video game
Yeah.
that came out for the 3DS.
Oh, it's actually based on a video
Yeah.
game? I thought you just meant because Pokemon are in video games.
It's a specific video game that I believe follows the same story as the video game.
So, 3DS, that's the handheld Nintendo?
That's the little handheld thing, Game Boy machine that they make now.
Okay. I think handheld Nintendo was fine.
Sure.
So that's interesting.
Right.
It must have been popular, right?
Yeah. It was probably really, really popular because it's a Pokemon game, and Pokemon games are always popular.
Sure.
I looked it up, and it only got like a 70 from Metacritic, which is
That's pretty good,
You
I
know,
think.
fine.
For
video
a handheld
games,
video game, though?
video
I think that's
games
pretty good.
usually so like you know how movies on Metacritic are usually on the lower end.
Yeah.
Like
Yes,
it's
yeah, I get
impossible to get like above a 90. Video games are a little different. So like if it's a really great video game, it could get 100 almost.
That's fine, but like I said, I think that handheld video games are probably a little different.
Maybe.
Little less likely to get a great
I
score.
think that probably the original Pokemon Game Boy games probably have a really high score on there. But maybe that was done retroactively.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I mean, you just can't get into video games the way you can like a on TV video game as you can a handheld. It's not going to be the same experience, even the best games.
Yeah. So, I mean, okay, so
yeah, let's
this
see.
movie is based off of that. I don't know very much about that. I've never played it.
But we do know that it is a movie about Pokemon that is made to look realistic as a Pokemon could be made to look, I suppose.
Right. So that's the
So it's live
big
action.
thing about this movie is
Yeah.
that they have live action with CGI Pokemon and not like cartoon 2D or like even like Pixar type animation. It's supposed to be
as realistic as you could conceive them.
photorealistic, basically, as much as
if you could
an imaginary
actually
creature
fathom
could
it.
be.
Yeah.
And so that is really the coolest part of this
And maybe the most surprising too.
trailer is that it's you didn't expect it. Like they've never done that with Pokemon or Nintendo really even at all.
Yeah. Well, and the thing, so what happened was a couple of my friends at work ran over to my desk and were like, hey, have you seen Detective Pikachu? You got to see Detective Pikachu. You got to see the trailer for that. And I'm like, calm down. What's happening? And they're like, it's a Pokemon movie. I was like, okay, I'll watch it. And they're like, no, watch it right now. It's live action. It's weird. And I was like, what?
And by weird, did they mean awesome?
I don't know if they said weird. Maybe I thought weird. But the point is, I remember being like, how? How is it live action?
I know.
And then you look at it, and it doesn't look, you think it's going to look terrible. In fact, I said to them, oh, is it like Roger Rabbit? And they were like, I guess, yeah, as close as you can get, as a descriptor. It's like cartoon and real life, but it's not. It's animated in real life. But
well, what's
it
interesting
looks so good.
is that this trailer came out on the same day as the Toy Story 4 teaser.
Oh, yeah.
And so Toy Story is obviously such an established like superpower of kids movies and stuff
Sure.
like that they don't really need to show anything.
Nope. Nothing
and
at all.
They just kind
Pretty
of
much.
it just kind of showed the characters and a spork
They were
with
holding
a face.
hands. Yeah.
And
There's nothing.
this trailer was so good that it very much overshadowed it.
Yeah. In fact,
if this trailer wouldn't have come out, everyone at your work would have been like,
Sure.
"Oh my God, Toy Story 4
maybe,
is coming out."
Except that it was just I thought that the Toy Story teaser was pretty lame.
Well, yeah, it was because they don't want to show anything. They're very they
It was
don't
pretty
have
lame. They literally could have just had Woody being like, "Oh, what's up, guys? We're gonna have a movie soon," and everybody would have been like, "Yay!"
That would have been worse.
True, but
I think it just should have been a clip of the shark saying, "My name's Woody. Howdy, howdy, howdy." And then that's it.
That's your favorite thing ever.
That's probably the best part of all three movies.
All right, calm down. But you're right. This overshadowed it. This was a big deal. We probably would have released this episode sooner had it not been around Thanksgiving time. We had a lot going on. But glad we could talk about it now.
Well, and also, okay, so here's the thing about...
I will say this. I enjoyed the trailer.
Yes, it's a very good looking trailer.
Like you said, it's surprising.
The movie itself looks good. It's a kid trying to find his dad in a Pokemon world, and so that's
with the
fun.
help of Pikachu.
Yeah, who only he can understand, which is another. So all of this stuff, it's been used in movies before, but I feel like, not me personally, and definitely not you personally, but a lot of people our age have always wanted to see like a Pokemon movie that was not just like a little, like a, straight to DVD thing or whatever.
Sure.
Because it was such an enormously popular thing, and I loved it growing up.
Yeah, I didn't do it. I watched some of the TV show.
I had the cards,
like after school and
I played the Game Boy game like every single day. The cartoon was probably the thing that I did the least when it came down to the.
Did you just say I played the boy game?
Game Boy game.
Oh, I was like, what is the boy game?
Yeah,
okay,
see, you're
sorry.
so out of this.
I've never
You're
had
out
a
of
Game
this
Boy.
world entirely.
My parents couldn't afford a Game Boy.
Well, you could
when I was a kid.
You could go get one now.
Although
they're probably
I don't
even
want
more
one.
expensive now.
Okay, so you played the Game Boy game. You loved it. It was
I
part
loved
of your
it.
life.
There was a lot of people. It was this huge worldwide phenomenon thing.
Clearly, very popular.
And then it just kind of stayed popular. Like from that point on, it's just like every single kid's
for a very
childhood
long time.
has had a decent amount of Pokemon.
Well,
in
like,
it.
because I think that Pogs, is that what they're called?
Those little discs.
I think that was like the first like real popular trading card type game for kids. It was before my time.
I don't think it was a game. You
It
just
was
made
trading.
little circular discs out of images that you had, like pictures that you had. You like put them in the
No,
machine and you
traded
chunk
them.
it down, and then you just like, hey,
We're
I got
thinking
these.
of two different things then. There's a thing that you traded, and it was the first, and then Pokemon came along and it was more popular, is
Okay.
what I'm saying.
Baseball cards.
Oh, yeah, but that's nothing. That's boring real life stuff.
Oh, wow.
It's so silly. Like, here's a face of somebody, like, cool, whatever. I can Google it. Anyway.
No, nope.
The point is...
Here's a face of somebody. That's how they advertise them.
The point is...
Baseball cards, they're a face
you're right.
of somebody.
It was a very big deal. And then, I know they kept making new Pokemon, and that kind of made some people upset. Like, they only recognized the original Pokemon crew,
and
like 100 Pokemon
those
or whatever.
people are dumb.
But there was all this different stuff. And then, in 2016, we had Pokemon Go.
It happened.
It happened. It was summer. It was so hot. But for like 2 to 3 whole weeks, people of all ages,
Mm-hmm.
people of all backgrounds,
Yes.
were just walking around in the street looking for Pokemon like it was a real life thing. And my friends were like, oh, yeah, I got this cool game. And I was like, I don't care. Because, like, I've never, ever cared about Pokemon
Yeah, would
at
you
all.
consider yourself a Pokemon hater?
When I was a kid, I was, because I thought it was really dumb. I was like, what? And then, like I said, in 6th grade, I watched some of the show. The only reason I watched the show in 6th grade was because it was like, I didn't have cable, so it's like whatever was on the kids' channel when I got home.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, it's better than nothing. And I would watch it. Never cared for it. I did like the mini games on the Nintendo 64 Pokemon, but I did not care for, and I will never care for, a back and forth type game where it's like, here, I'm going to shoot you. And then it's like, kapow, ouch.
Here, I'm
All
going
right,
to shoot you.
Now I'm going to water splash you. Like the back and forth waiting
So
for them
you-
to hit you. I hate that.
You don't like pre-American Revolution war.
Absolutely. That's precisely it. But, I always thought they were cute. Like, I get why people like them.
But you're on the record of saying that you like current war.
No.
Oh, okay.
Wow. But no, so here's the thing. We've got Pokemon Go. We're walking around and Charlie's doing it. And I'm like, you know what? What is that game? Let me look it up. I'm going to do it too. Why not? Because we were walking around the city and we lived in Kansas City at the time, downtown. We're walking all the time. So why not, just play
Why
for
not
fun.
catch a Zubat
So
or
I
two?
thought I'd try it out. And I was like, this is fun. And like I said, the thing that's cool is it's for like a little bit there. It was like we were all real Pokemon hunters, right? Do they call them hunters? Masters?
Sure.
Whatever. Like we were all like, it was the first time somebody had really found a great way to use augmented reality where everybody enjoyed it. Augmented reality, for those of you who don't know, is just when you take reality and some sort of virtual thing and put them together. So you could see the Pokemon in what looked to be the real world. You're pointing your camera at the ground, and then there's also a Pokemon there. He's only on your screen. He's not there in real life, but it feels like he is. So it was really cool. And everybody got into it. It was a sad time in the world because it was 2016, at least sad time in America. And everybody was like, let's all come together and catch Pokemon. And Charlie and I went down to the Nelson Atkins Museum of Art. And we're just walking around. There's a big picnic going on that they have in Kansas City. And we're just going around catching Pokemon. They were all over the Nelson. And we heard it was a great spot for them. So we went there, and these little kids are like, oh, are you guys catching Pokemon? And we're like, yeah. And they're like, what team are you on? And we're like, yellow. And they're like, oh, yellow's the worst. And we just
so I kicked them.
No, but we just had this whole conversation with these 10-year-old kids at this big picnic, and they were like, cool, good luck catching Pokemon. And it was just, that's how the world felt for like 2 weeks. Was like everybody was a friend. Anyone who you could tell was playing Pokemon was now no longer a stranger.
Well, that's one of the things
broke down barriers
that I like about Pokemon in general is that, so like I was saying, is that it showed up and it just immediately took over everything. And then it went down a little bit, obviously, popularity wise, but it just kind of stayed popular, and they
with
kept
kids.
adding to it.
It continued to be popular with kids
forever, but and now even as well. And they're still adding new stuff and doing new things. And so what that does to it in general is that it makes it this huge fandom.
Yeah.
That is very not like other fandoms. So
you're saying because it starts when you're a kid?
No, because it's been constantly growing and changing the entire time steadily. There's not a lot of people that like get mad at you if you don't know every single thing about Pokemon, or if you don't know one's character name or their origin or their powers or whatever.
It's been continually changing,
and
so no one's like mad either. Like, oh, I hate what they did with it.
Right, exactly.
Chances are they're not going to say that about this movie.
And they've done that already so much. They've done so many different things and so many different medias and all different things that you can't really be expected to know every single thing about it like a lot of other things are.
Yeah.
People get mad at you. You feel self-conscious about saying things about it or enjoying it the wrong way. That with this, you just like it however you like it.
It's just fun.
And you do whatever you want with it.
And I think that's cool too. Like nobody was ever like, I could be like, oh, I like the little fox one. I think that's cute. Nobody would be like, what don't you mean? I literally can't think of what
Eevee?
it's called. Eevee? Yeah.
You idiot.
Nobody would.
I hate you.
Pretty much people wouldn't do that. Or they would just be like, oh yeah, Eevee, she's cool.
Yeah.
Whatever. People were always
and obviously
cool
there
with
are
it.
people like that,
Sure.
but it's less prevalent.
But it's just like people get it. Like
things.
You don't have to love it as much as them for them to accept you.
You know, like Star Wars and Marvel and all these other things, you kind of feel like you have to know every single thing about it in order to enjoy it, or else you feel like a fraud.
Yeah.
Or you're a jerk who is getting mad at people that don't know everything about it.
Sure. So that's kind of in general what we think about Pokemon as a fandom, like you said.
That
right?
being said, I don't super like the Ryan Reynolds voice choice.
I think it's perfect.
Obviously,
all
it's
the people
good.
who don't like it are ridiculous.
No, obviously it's good and he's good at it.
It looks hilarious.
The only problem is that it's such a similar thing to Deadpool.
I know, and people have made these comparisons.
Like a similar goofiness and whatever, and like the little quips and things. Obviously, he's not going to be dropping F-bombs as Pikachu, even though that might be hilarious.
I have seen photos of somebody, like a person in the Deadpool suit, but it's all yellow and they have a tail.
Uh-huh.
I have seen somebody who dressed Pikachu up in a Deadpool suit. I've seen a lot of these memes going around. So, yeah, people either seem to really like it or hate it. I really like it. I think it's so perfect. And I don't think it matters. Like, people hear his voice and they think Deadpool, but that's because he just owned that character so good.
And it's also because you don't see his mouth moving while he's doing that character.
Sure.
So, like, while during Deadpool, it's more like a voiceover because his face is covered up by a mask.
I guess. But the point is, I don't think it'll affect it. I don't think you'll be like, oh, I can't get into this movie because I just keep picturing Deadpool. I think that you'll get over that real fast because it looks like a real movie with a real story. So I don't think that's a problem.
It's like how I couldn't watch Pocahontas because I kept picturing, Braveheart.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just going to say Mel Gibson, but okay. And did you not watch Pocahontas until you were an adult? Until you
I
met
don't
me?
know. It was just, a quick joke I thought of
All right. Well, anyway,
in my head.
the movie itself looks interesting. I think it was a very surprising trailer, and as people who watch trailers all the time, I thought that was refreshing. I was like totally surprised. I had no idea what I was about to see, and then it was like, oh my god, it kind of looks awesome.
And it's really good, and it's in this
Which it
weird,
shouldn't.
Futuristic, all races, all different types
Yeah.
of people universe.
They
that
said it was
city
in
that
a
it lives in,
City where Pokemon and people lived harmoniously.
and so it's like this
So-
thing that's, it's just like you think about it, and
It does look like it's in an Asian country.
First of all, it gives you nostalgia.
Right?
Well, yeah, but there's all different types of races
What-
of people there. The main character is a black.
But
kid.
where does Pokemon come from?
Japan.
Japan. So I bet you it takes place in Japan or a fictional city that's like outside of Japan, like that's in Japan, because it does look like, there was all sorts of people there, but like one of the main characters was Asian, and I
Yeah.
think that I think it's cool that they did that because it is Japanese, and it makes sense to at least have a Japanese feel, right?
Yeah.
The city has a Japanese feel, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's cool because I think it would be silly to like just place it in New York or something, like that wouldn't really work. So I mean, do you want to talk about the next phase?
The next phase.
What is that? Where, when, and how?
Well, actually, mentioning phase.
Ooh,
One of the other things that I was talking about that I wrote down,
that I was talking about. Okay, go on.
that I was talking about in my own head before we started recording.
Yeah.
Was, if this is good, so let's say it's good, it looks good. If it's good, would you want to see more stories in this universe with different main characters? Or do you think that Pikachu talking is what makes this good?
I think you would be going down a slippery slope of every time they make a new one, it's more likely to be bad. I think it's going to be a hard thing to duplicate. I think the surprise factor of a Pikachu movie that takes itself seriously and looks realistic, I just can't see them doing that great. I mean, think about it. You have Transformers. The first one was okay. It was okay. Then every single one after that just got so dramatically worse because it's like, how many movies can you make where there's giant, transformer machines, saving the world? It just becomes too ridiculous. It's hard to be taken seriously for more than one movie. It's like I can suspend my disbelief,
The robots
but
in that
maybe
movie
not for multiple movies.
were rarely in disguise.
So,
That's part of the song.
robots in disguise.
All right, let's move on to where, when, and how you're going to see it.
All right.
Where? When? How?
Are you going to see this movie? Where, when, and how you going to see this Pokemon?
Okay.
That's what my dad used to call them.
After you.
I think I kind of want to see it in the theater.
Yeah.
Which is weird because it's like it's something that I never thought I would say.
It's going to be a weird mix of people going to see it in the theater.
Maybe. Or maybe it'll just be everyone.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I said. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Is it
not
should
like
be
weird, like good, not bad.
weird, like good. Like I'm saying, you would expect it to be a bunch of 10-year-olds, but a whole bunch of adults are going to see this movie. A whole
Yeah.
bunch.
And I mean, I like to, rag on stuff for being nostalgia.
Yeah, you really
seeking.
do.
But like I
Yeah.
said before, this is the type of thing that has been constantly going over the last 30 years, basically.
Right.
And
when it's something you like, it's different, right?
Well, no, and this is a game that came out pretty
Nostalgia
recently.
is so stupid as a motivator unless it's something that motivates me personally. I'm Charlie.
Wow. This is really going after me.
Um,
But also, you're wrong.
Oh, I thought you were going to say right. Look, I want to see it in theater too. It's so silly. It's like as soon as the little Pokemon, well, it was before Pikachu, they showed a few Pokemon. As soon as they started showing some of the Pokemon, I was just like, holy crap.
It's like, that's it. I don't even care what it's about.
And then
I want to see what
And
they all
then
look like when they're moving.
I had no idea that they were going to talk. And then when I saw Pikachu, I was just like, holy crap, this looks like a good movie.
I know.
It looks interesting and fun. It's so visually appealing.
Yeah.
And I think something that would be cool for someone like me is that I don't know much about them. So obviously, basically my entire knowledge about Pokemon comes from Pokemon Go, which didn't teach me that much, and Nintendo 64 Smash Brothers.
Uh-huh.
So I won't know.
He always pops out, scares you.
I won't know a lot of the powers that they have. So one thing they were showing is like there was a mime Pokemon.
You want to know his name?
Sure.
Mr. Mime.
Okay, so Mr. Mime, like, so is his power that he mimes something and it's like real, like Pikachu ran into his wall?
He does stuff, yeah.
Anyway, I never knew that guy. At one point, there's like a rumble that's like shaking the whole earth. It could be Snorlax. It could be something else.
I really hope that there's a Snorlax in this.
Who knows? But the thing is, I think there's going to be, there was one where the duck, the duck, what do you call him? Platypus? Psyduck, where he like takes a deep breath and then blows people away. There's like a thing where he did that. I didn't know he did that. I don't know anything about Psyduck except that he's a duck.
It's like the big bad wolf.
And so I think that'll be really fun for someone like me. And then people who do know, it'll be fun to watch the things they've imagined.
Well,
the
big dragon at the end, the Charizard.
Yeah. That's going to be cool.
Like, yeah, jumping up at Pikachu. There was, I saw a post that was like 2 side-by-side pictures, and it was from the Game Boy, and it was like a Pikachu like in a fight with a Charizard.
Yeah.
And they were like fighting each other. And the top of it said what it looked like. And then there was a screenshot of that, of the Charizard attacking it. And then above it, it said what it felt like.
Nice, yeah. So it's like you've been thinking, that's what I'm saying. So like if you were into it, it'll be like, whoa, this is like how I imagined Pokemon when I was a kid and we were fighting with the cards, let's say.
Well, and people have wanted that for so long. They've wanted a video game for so long.
That looked more
like
realistic.
This.
And so then for someone like me, it'll be like, whoa, that thing does that.
Yeah,
like,
what a crazy thing.
So yeah, I think it'll be fun. I want to see it in theater. And I think because it looks so visually stunning, that's why you should see it in theater.
And I think that's a cool thing about it is that for a lot of people, a good amount of people, including me that doesn't know every single thing about it, it'll be this entirely new universe of weird creatures with like superpowers and that's why I was saying that I think that it could easily become a bunch of different movies.
I'm sure that they will try it because based on just the reception of the trailer, people are going to go see this like crazy. They're going to make a ton of money off of this. And so therefore there will be another. They will try it.
Before we move on to Rotten Tomatoes, I think that a mistake would be to make it
just
these
Pikachu?
two characters focused every single time.
Yeah, but I could
Like an
definitely see
extended
that
story.
happening because
Yeah, me
it's a
too.
safer bet. If
Well,
people
yeah,
like
and
them, it's safer to keep going with them.
The more you put Ryan Reynolds in anything, the
That's
more
true.
people will go see it.
But I had something I was going to say before. Isn't it interesting that Disney just released the trailer to the quote unquote live action,
Quote unquote. Yeah, it's not real live action.
Yeah, the animated Lion King, the second animated Lion King.
It's easier than saying photorealistic animation.
Yeah, so the photorealistic animation Lion King just had the trailer drop, the teaser trailer.
Boom,
and
dropped it.
People are going crazy about it because they will. That's what people do. But isn't it interesting that they've spent, I think it was 22 months working on this, I think they said.
I don't know.
Animators. So a whole team of animators has been working on this for a really long time, this Lion King. And they've been just doing their best to make this really photorealistic, amazing animation. And a lot of people's complaint is like, why doesn't Disney do a new movie with interesting animation, right? Well, basically, while that was happening, a whole different team of amazing animators were working their butts off to make this photorealistic Pokemon movie. And it's exactly what people are saying. Why didn't they just do something different? Here it is.
Right.
For those of you who think it's dumb that they're doing the photorealistic animation Lion King, I'm always going to call it that from now on. Thanks for giving me that. Now that, like, if you're like me and you're like, that's dumb, I wish there was something different and new, you have to go see this. Because that's basically what this is like, yes, I get it that it's not brand new. It's not like a completely new story.
But
that
also
had
people who are
a
nostalgic
new
about Lion
universe.
King most likely are also nostalgic
Probably.
about Pokemon.
But yeah, for those of you who like wanted to see something different that's not just a movie you've seen before, this is such a cool way to do that and a cool way to support animators who are coming up with these new cool animations. And I think this is the best way to do it because like
Well, and it's funny
regular
because
animation is fun and fine. We
this
don't have to
movie
turn it all into realistic stuff.
is like the opposite of that. They like announced, they put, on the schedule that they were coming out with a Detective Pikachu movie
Right.
at this time.
Did they even tell anybody that it
Yeah,
was
they
going to
did.
not be cartoon?
Yeah.
I just assumed it was going to be cartoon.
People knew
But
it
I
was going
didn't
to
pay
be
much
live
attention.
action, and they didn't know that the animation was going to be exactly like this. But they knew it was going to be live action
Yeah.
and stuff. But it was a Detective Pikachu movie, and they
Yeah, it
thought,
sounded like a kid's
who
thing.
cares?
Right.
And then the trailer came out for it, and it's like this huge thing. Whereas Lion King has been hyped for like 2 years, basically.
And the trailer came out, and it was exactly what you'd expect, which is just a shot-for-shot
Right.
remake of the first scene of the movie.
The opening, with the voiceover.
And it's fine.
with
And
literally the same actor doing the voiceover.
They gave you exactly what you wanted, and that's fine. But this other one, I think the reason it got the hype is because people were taken back. They watched it, and it made them kind of gasp. Like,
They did. They went,
what?
what?
Yeah, it made them like I was just kind of sitting there with my mouth hanging open, like, what is happening? It's just so interesting. So,
All right, well, let's move on to Rotten Tomatoes.
pow, pow, pow.
Rotten Tomatoes percentages.
Did you like my Rotten Tomatoes? Pow, pow, pow.
Oh
Sound?
yeah, it made
That's
it.
something I'm trying.
It's probably the best, lead-in that we've ever
Right.
had to that.
So Rotten Tomatoes. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of go for it.
Oh wow.
I'm gonna guess that the critics are gonna give it an 87%.
That's a lot.
It looks great, and critics love a great visual movie. Like if it has just awesome effects and stuff, and it's done really well. And I think the audience is gonna give it a 92. Like I said, I'm just going for it.
Just doing
I
it.
have high hopes. I think it will be good. I think people will be talking about it. And a bunch of people who didn't think it was worth the watch will see it the second weekend because they'll hear everybody from the first weekend talking about it.
Like Deadpool.
That's what I think is going to happen.
That's it. That's basically exactly what happened with Deadpool.
Yeah.
I think that I'm a little bit more realistic.
Or maybe just taking the safe route.
Maybe. But
Being more
I think
hesitant.
that the critics will give it a 80 to 82%.
Okay. A nice little 2-point slide there.
And I think that that's because Pokemon in general is still seen as either a little kid or super nerd thing to
sure.
be a part
yeah.
of.
If you're an adult person wearing a Pokemon shirt, when you say, oh, that adult is wearing a Pokemon shirt, I picture a certain type of person.
Yeah, exactly.
And
And I think
that's
that critics
not
do
fair.
as well.
That's not
and
fair.
I think that will affect their,
However,
decision.
Pokemon Go's changing
So,
things,
It
man.
might be
Anyone can be a Pokemon fan now.
which I mean, if that were the case, they will just grade it as a kids movie, which
Sure.
they don't really bias those too much
When
anymore.
it comes to kids movies, it seems like for critics the base thing is if it was a really good kids movie, that means it was also enjoyable for adults.
yes.
That's the thing, and I think it will be. So, yeah. And what about audience? You have an idea?
Audience, I think it'll be 95.
Yeah, it's gonna be high,
So,
right?
and I think
Unless
that it
they
might
totally
even,
screw this up and it was just a great trailer, but
I think it might even dip below 80 for critics.
yeah, I can see
And-
that. I'm just having high
and
hopes.
that's I think it's just because but like you said, they'll be better on it because of how awesome the animation is.
Yeah.
But I think that it's still one of those things that is seen as childish.
Sure, but here's the thing. So was superheroes. And then we had Iron Man. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, it just takes one person to take it seriously and do it right to convince everyone else. And I think this might do that. Yeah, so there was something I was going to say. So, kids movie, taking it seriously.
Ryan Reynolds,
Ryan Reynolds.
Deadpool.
No, that's you're just
We're
leading
going
me down the wrong
now. We're
hole.
just doing word
No,
association.
so we were talking about
Pool party.
No, stop, because we were talking about the score
Yeah.
and why I have high hopes. I
Uh-huh.
think that the one thing we haven't really talked about is that we don't know much about the story at all.
Right. I mean, if you played the game, you do.
Sure.
But I have not.
Which
Maybe I will.
No, don't do it.
Maybe I will. You can't stop me.
Well, we only have a 2DS. Is it
Yeah, it'll
on
work.
2DS?
Yeah.
Will it?
It'll.
I don't know.
It'll.
Look, the thing is, that's the big X factor, though. If that story is terrible, we
Yeah.
could be real disappointed. So that's the thing. We're just assuming because it looks good and
Although-
it sounds good that it will be good, but we have no idea. So I think if we go into that movie and the story is fascinating and you're on the edge of your seat wanting to know what happens, and then maybe there's a couple of twists in it that you didn't see coming, then that's when the critics are going to give it 87%.
I think that even if the story is terrible, I'll still like it.
Sure. And that's why I think I'm banking hard on the story being very good.
Okay.
Like
Wow, very good.
Yeah, like a searching level good.
Oh my God.
Like I think, well, because for me at least, okay, and for those of you who don't know, Searching, it's a movie with
John Cho.
John Cho, thank you, couldn't think of his name, and Deborah Messing. Great movie, go watch it. But
It won't be that good.
No.
So don't
no.
get your hopes
Listen,
that high.
what I'm saying is I'm banking on it being something where by the end of it, I'm like, holy crap. That took a turn. That's what I want. Like, I want it to be something where I didn't see it coming.
Pikachu is the murderer.
Well, the thing is, he's a detective.
He murdered that kid's
So
dad.
I want this to be a good detective mystery.
Okay.
I want it to be Sherlock Holmes level interesting.
Pikachu Holmes.
Yeah. So who knows? But I'm just saying, obviously it can't be Searching good. That's silly. But the point that I'm making is I want it to trick me or, grip
So
me.
You want it to be like Seven, only with Pokemon.
No, I've never seen that movie.
What's in the box? A Charmander. Charmander.
All right. I thought you said, okay, before we started this whole episode, you said, just so you know, I'm going to go Pika Pika a whole lot.
Yeah, I switched it out.
Yeah, you changed it. You never once did it.
Well, I'm a wild card.
Well, what's your Pikachu impression? Pika! There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. It's real loud, by the way, in my ears.
Yeah, it's gonna be loud.
So for those of you listening, sorry about his Charmander and Pikachu impression.
I backed up for the Charmander one.
I know, thank goodness. Do you have a Snorlax impression?
I think he just snores.
Yeah, you're right. I think his big body just comes onto the screen and he just knocks everybody out.
He blocks pathways. That's his thing.
Anyway, just to wrap things up, I think we're both saying go see it in theater, give it a chance.
That's what I'm saying.
At the very least, if you're going to freak out and run to the theater to see a movie that you know the story to, like Lion King, just because it's something you love.
This has become kind of an anti-Lion King.
No. I'm saying if you plan on doing that, good for you. Please also run to the theater to see this and support this kind of interesting thing that somebody has to take a chance on things like these. That's the thing. It is a no-brainer for Disney to remake all their movies. They already know 100% that they have a massive audience of adults and kids who want to see them. But you're taking a chance when you do a new movie.
Yeah.
You're not sure. People may not come out to see it. So what should we as an audience do? We should run to the theater and see it so that we can have more interesting, unique movies and people taking more chances.
And here's one last question.
Okay.
Have we reached the point of photorealistic animation where, like, 20 years from now, these movies won't look dated?
No.
No? Do you think we will ever?
Yes. At some point.
Because this is pretty close.
But the reason I say that is because, like, I'm thinking of even just the Lion King one, because obviously it's impossible to know how realistic Pikachu looks because there is no real Pikachu. But lions, we've all seen lions.
We know lions.
That
we know what they look like.
That little Simba in that trailer doesn't look real to me.
Well, I think it's supposed to be a little stylized.
Sure,
like
but
a little tiny.
I'm just saying.
But the Rafiki looked real.
Not to me.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think any of it did. I think it
Do
looks.
you think that it might just be because you're
No,
a hater?
no, I really don't, because I saw The Jungle Book too, and none of that looked real.
They made a
to
second
me.
one
Stop it! I meant also
as well.
None of it looked real to me. I think that it's like Tintin.
Ooh, I like Tintin.
When we first saw Tintin, everybody was like, "It looks real," because it was so incredible. And there are literal parts in that like if you just came in at that part,
we've
it
been
looks
saying
real.
that forever basically, and I'm saying that is this the moment.
And I'm saying I can tell just by looking at it that they can do better. So I'm putting it out there for for all those
Next.
amazing. Yeah, thank you. Next.
Oh.
Ariana Grande.
I thought it was Ariana Grande.
For all of those animators out there who have been working their butts
Just
off
skipped right over
to
that.
make it the most realistic thing, good work. You're getting there, but you're not there yet, and I challenge you to do better.
I challenge you, Ariana Grande.
Actually, I don't really care, though. I mean, you can do better if you want, but I would always like to see 2D animation.
That took a left turn real quick.
Yeah, I'm just saying I would love it if we had like the old style Disney come back and make a cool, Princess and the Frog type movie.
They don't really do that anymore.
I know they don't.
because
That's why I'm saying I would love it.
It's not financially
I am putting it out there to the
cheapest
world.
thing ever.
There might be an animator somewhere listening to this who's been waiting for someone to encourage them. I'm encouraging them.
And the waiting is the hardest part.
I love the way it looks.
Anyway, movie trailer trash.
Yeah, let's talk about us.
You can go to our website, mttpodcast.com. Look at all the stuff there. Go to our Twitter, @mttpodcast. Instagram, @movie trailer trash. Facebook, just search it. Just look it up. You'll find it. What else is there?
Look, we have a trivia night in Kansas City that we've been doing for a while now. It's the last Thursday of every month, except for December. We will be taking a break for the month of December, a little holiday break. However, the last Thursday of this month...
Even superheroes have to take off their capes sometimes.
The last Thursday of this month happens to be the 29th, and we will be having that at Tapcade in Kansas City, downtown Kansas City. If you're in the area, please come out, bring friends, bring family. It's a really good time. We just do movie trivia, and this one's going to be all about holiday movies.
Yeah, it's going to be grand.
So that's good. We're going to keep doing it next year, even though we're taking the break. So just keep an eye out. If you follow us on Facebook, you will not miss any information about that. We'll always let you know it's coming.
It's going to be grand. It's going to be Ariana Grande.
Movie Trailer Trash Podcast on Facebook. And tell your friends about us. Like and subscribe.
And always, you could follow our friends Entertainment Buffet @Entertainment Buffet and subscribe to their YouTube channel as well.
Yes, we appreciate your love. All right.